This session, we are going to continue with the previous video's topic, that is third scenario of causes and cost of congestion. See, as I said, here four senders are there, and if one sender called host A, host A, host B wants to send to host C, we will assume. Okay, so host B is sending to host B is sending to the destination. And if you take this D, we'll assume host D is also sending to the destination host A. What happens, since we said that the buffers are finite shared output link buffers means the buffer size is finite. What happens, see, this router is shared by so many senders, like 2-3 senders, as I said. So if it is going to be finite, what happens, so first the data from D to A will reach this router, and it goes to host B, then to this router to reach its destination. What happens, the data which has been forwarded by this router may be lost in the second intermediate router before reaching the destination. So what happens, the bandwidth is wasted by this router, because in forwarding the data it has to waste the bandwidth, so which got wasted when it went to the second router. So this is the problem in case of scenario 3. So if the data moves from the source to the destination and it passes through two or more intermediate routers whose size is finite, then even if it passes through one router, in the second router, if it gets lost, if it reaches the destination properly, then no problem. But if it doesn't reach the destination before that, in the second intermediate router, if the data is getting lost, then the bandwidth is totally wasted by the router for sending that particular data packet. This is the cost of this scenario 3, cost of congestion of scenario 3. So this is all about all the three scenarios which we have seen. Next. Next topic is, as I said, this is cost. That is, when packet is dropped, any upstream transmission capacity used for that packet was wasted, as I said. Then we have to see approaches towards congestion control. What are the different approaches? End-to-end congestion control. And the second one is network assisted congestion control. So what is end-to-end congestion control is no explicit feedback from the network. Network will not help to reduce the congestion. Only the sender and the receiver should take some measures or actions to reduce the congestion. That is why it is called as end-to-end congestion. Congestion inferred from end system, observed loss or delay. As I said, if any delay or loss is found, only the measures or actions to be taken by the sender and the receiver. In no way the network will help. Approach is taken by TCP. So what approach? That is initiated by the TCP. Next comes network assisted congestion control. What happens here? See, routers provide feedback to the end system. Okay, it happens. So the network is going to provide some solution, also provide some help to the source and destination to avoid congestion. Okay, it is like traffic police. See, traffic police helps us to reduce the congestion. Yes, that is nothing but network assisted congestion control. If no traffic police is there, then it is our responsibility to reduce the congestion. Okay, if we find that road is fully packed or traffic jam is there, then what we will do? We have to take action. That is, we will move through some other route in which the traffic is not there. So that is called end-to-end congestion. If somebody comes and help us, like traffic police, then it is network assisted congestion control. Who is that somebody in the network? That is the intermediate routers. Okay, so intermediate routers will give the information or will give the signal to the sender and the receiver to avoid the congestion. So how it is going to do is by sending the bits called SNA DEC bit. Explicit rate sender should send it. It will also inform the sender at what rate it has to send the data. So this is case study that you can study. Next comes TCP congestion control. So what is said here? What are the measures that the TCP suggests to control the congestion? Yes, first goal is TCP sender should transmit as fast as possible but without congesting the network. So how to find that? The rate just below the congestion level, whether we have reached the congestion level or not. See, as long as the traffic is not there, we can send too much, jam is not there, we can send so many vehicles. If jam is there, then that has to be identified and we have to stop the rate of data flow or rate of incoming vehicles. So each TCP sender send its own rate based on the implicit feedback. So it will get the feedback within itself. See, if it gets the acknowledgement, it will come to know that there is no congestion. If any data is lost, then it will come to know that there is no there is some congestion, so we have to reduce the sending rate. Okay, if I am getting the acknowledgement, if the sender is getting the acknowledgement for all the data it has sent, then it will keep on increasing the rate of sending. And if it finds that at some stage, if it finds that any data is lost, that is, if it doesn't get any acknowledgement, gradually it will reduce the sending rate. So nobody is going to, network routers will not help the sender or the receiver, or will assist the sender or the receiver to reduce the congestion. This is decentralized. Yes, TCP congestion control, bandwidth probing. So probing for bandwidth is increase the transmission rate on the receipt of acknowledgement. Yes, as I said, if I get the acknowledgement, I will keep on increasing the transmission rate. First minute, if I send 2 packets, first minute I will start with sending 1 packet, then I'll double. Next minute 2 packets, third minute 4 packets, like that I will increase. When I will do this same process until I get the acknowledgement for all the packets which I have sent, I will use the same process. Once I find that I am not getting the acknowledgement for the packets sent, then I will keep on reduce the sending rate. So this is called probing of bandwidth. See here, so sending rate is increased. Next, loss, so decrease the rate. So I am decreasing the rate, then I will increase the rate slowly. If I find the loss, then I will again decrease. I am again increasing the rate. Whenever at some point if I find some loss, then I will decrease. So this is how data probing, bandwidth probing occurs. How fast to increase or decrease, that's what we are going to see. So the TCP congestion control, we said like how fast we have to increase or how fast we have to decrease. That is that can be decided with the help of congestion window and the receiver window. See, we can use some formula called last byte sent minus last byte acknowledged should be always less than or equal to congestion window. So if I have sent 40 bytes and I have received the acknowledgement for 39 bytes, so what is the value now? If you subtract, it is 1. So congestion window should be always greater than this 1. So what is the rate now? Congestion window by RTT. What is RTT? It is the round trip time. So congestion window is dynamic. It is function of perceived network congestion. So based on the network traffic, the congestion window size is also decided. So segment loss event, reducing congestion window. As I said, if any loss occurs, we have to cut the congestion window size to 1. So if no response from the receiver, that is if I'm not getting any acknowledgement, and if I get 3 duplicate acknowledgements, then it means that some data has been lost. That is called fast retransmit. Already we have said what is 3 duplicate acknowledgement process is called fast retransmit. If I am not getting the packet like see, I'm sending packet 1 and packet 2, packet 3, but the packet 2 is lost. If I am getting packet 3, the receiver, what it will do, the receiver will within the timeout period, it will send 3 duplicate of acknowledgement of the packet 1, so that the sender will come to know that it has not received the next packet, that is packet 2. So within the timeout period of packet 2, it will send the packet 2, so that fastly it can be retransmitted. The lost packet can be retransmitted very fast. Next, if I get acknowledgement, what happens? I have to increase the congestion window size. So we have two phases. One is slow start phase and the other one is congestion avoidance. What happens in the slow start phase? Increase exponentially fast at the connection start or following timeout. See, if I get the acknowledgement, first I will send first packet. Then if I get the acknowledgement, I'll be sending two segments. Then for both the segments, if I get the acknowledgement, then I will increase it to 4 segments. So if I get all the acknowledgement for all the 4 segments, then I will increase to 16. So how long I can increase like this? I can exponentially increase the number of segments until I find that if I am not getting any acknowledgement for the segments which I have sent, I can increase it exponentially. The point at which I find that I'm not getting the acknowledgement for the sent segments, then I have to reduce the congestion window. This is what happens in TCP slow start. This is the transition diagram. So slow start and the congestion window, when to increase and when to decrease. And so how to avoid the congestion is additive increase and multiplicative decrease. So what happens? So increase the congestion window size by 1. Additive means 1 by 1 we have to add 1, that's it. We should not go with the exponential increase. The slow start process we saw exponentially we have increased. First time I have sent 1 segment, second time 2 segments, third time 4 segments, and the fifth time 16 segments. So I was doing exponentially. But here to avoid the congestion, what we have to do is we have to additively increase. That is, first I have to send 1 segment, second 2 segments, third 3 segments, fourth 4 segments. So when I have to reduce, as I said, if I am not getting the acknowledgement, I have to reduce. So how I should reduce is cut the congestion window in half. So we have to reduce the sending speed into half. If I have sent 4 packets, now I have to send only 2. If I have sent 2 packets, now I have to send only 1. So like this, by half you have to reduce the sending rate. So see here, slow start process. So if I get 3 duplicate acknowledgement, then it will go to the fast recovery mode. And what happens from the fast recovery mode, it will move to the congestion avoidance. So what we have to do, additively increase. If everything goes wrong, no problem. Okay, but there is no loss means no issues, I can go with the slow start. But if at all any packet is lost, then first I will move to the fast recovery phase. From there I will move to the congestion avoidance phase. So this is how the congestion control can be done. Next. So with this I will end up this session. Thank you. Bye.